Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahay. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
Karmendriyani sanyamya,
ya aste manasa smaran,
ya aste manasa smaran,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
yastvindriyani manasa,
yastvindriyani manasa,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
karmendriyai karmayogam,
Karmendriyai karmayogam,
asaktah savishishyate,
asaktas savishishyate,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
karmajyayo hyakarmanah,
karmajayo hyakarmanah,
sharirayatra pichate,
sharirayatra pichate,
na prasidhyeda karmanah,
na prasidhyeda karmanah,
yajñarthat karmanonyatra,
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
lokoyam karma bandhanah,
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
tadartham karma kaunteya,
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
muktasanga samachara
Muktasangah samachara
sahayajñā praja srishtva
Sahayajñā praja srishtva
purovacha prajapatihi
Purovacha prajapatihi
anena prasavishyadvam
Anena prasavishyadvam
yeshavostvishta kamadhuk
Yeshavostvishta kamadhuk
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we were seeing the four purposes of action. See, all activities are directed towards infinite happiness. This is the general principle. All of your actions are directed towards happiness, and you're not really satisfied with temporary happiness. You keep on seeking more and more happiness. In that sense, everything which you do, everything which comes out of you, all that is aimed towards becoming more happy only. Now, this being the general principle, now what we are doing is we are going into further specifics. See, remember, if you want to master anything, first you need to understand the general principle, and then you need to also master the specifics. If you don't understand the general principle, you will not have a total view. If you don't go into the specifics, you will really not be able to master that particular skill or whatever it is that you're trying to master in a deep way, in a proper way. There are only two kinds of people in general. Either they just learn things in a generalized way, they never get into specifics, or there are some people who, in the name of going to the specifics, they lose sight of the total picture. So in the yogic approach, we achieve the combination of both. So throughout these sessions, you will find that many principles are given to you in a general way. That is on one side. All that is aimed towards building a total picture, a totality view. Otherwise, you will not understand the context. If straight away the specifics are given, you will not understand the context in which that particular point is being given. Along with these general principles, the specific sadhana tips, the specific points are also being given to you in depth. See, the moment we talk of becoming specific, we are talking of depth. This is so true in every field. See, supposing you want to start a business. Now, as the owner of the business, you should have a general view of what is happening. in all the departments, whether it's finance or whether it's sales or whether it is marketing or administration. A general view should be there. Not only that, you should also go into the specifics of each department and create a system which will maximize the productivity in that department. Only then you can be successful. It is the same thing with respect to the physical body in terms of health. See, if you remember in the Kaya Tattva Empowerment Program, different sadhana meditation materials were given. Certain materials are aimed towards the overall balancing the system, all the body parts, going up to the, so certain meditations going up to the organ level, certain meditations going up to the cellular level and energizing every cell, and certain meditations going up to the atomic level and generating the higher vibrations at that level. So on one hand, a general kind of a sadhana, the meditation is also there. On the other hand, specific sadhana is also given, especially there is one meditation material which was given to you. For example, I am saying the individual organ meditation. So whenever you something goes wrong with your health, you have a pain in a particular organ or some problem with some organ. Now, if you do that individual organ meditation on that particular organ, the healing will happen at a faster pace. The materials have been given to you. Now, how you utilize them is up to you. So, if you want to be successful in any endeavor, you need to adopt these two principles in your life. One is getting a total picture, a generalized view, an overall view, we can call it. And the other principle is going into the specifics and practicalizing every aspect of whatever you're trying to master. So when you learn the general principle without the specifics, now you will just lead a life in a superficial way. The same thing is applicable in spirituality also. Someone has asked this question, why is it that so many people get into spirituality but they don't really get the real fruits, the real kind of development? Because of this approach. See, in spirituality, most of the people learn these truths in a very generalized way. For example, to give the principle, now be cheerful, be happy. This is a general principle. Thereafter, you have to go into the specifics. What are the factors which are preventing you from being happy today? What are the blocks which you're facing? What are the kinds of thoughts and emotions which can give you happiness? First of all, what is happiness? You see, when you go deep into that, that is when you gain the specific knowledge. So, when it comes to the spiritual path, there are many scholars or pandits who have a generalized knowledge of all the scriptures. You ask them about the Bhagavad Gita, they'll be able to quote you something from the Bhagavad Gita. If you ask about the Upanishad, they'll be able to quote from the Upanishads. If you ask them about the Puranas, they'll be able to quote from the Puranas and even give you a general meaning of that. that need not necessarily be wrong. See, there are some people who understand even that in a wrong way. We're not talking of that. People who have a basic good understanding of the scriptures, there also most of the people have a generalized understanding. So when you have a generalized understanding, what happens is that your absorption is at a very superficial level. You don't really absorb the energy of these great yogis and siddhas who have given out this wisdom. See, every yogi gets connected to the infinite, and then whatever the infinite wisdom is, it comes from the depth of his or her experience. So if you just learn all this in a generalized way, you will miss that experiential depth, that energy. So such people, even though they may be in touch with the spiritual wisdom, their practical life will be divorced from these principles. Practically, they will not have control over their own minds. So they will talk big philosophy, all this, but when a small challenge comes, immediately the mind will buckle. It could be a small problem like a small health issue, just a mild fever they may get, or a mild pain. Now the mind will get so afraid, and they will create such a big commotion. Why? Because that specific wisdom is missing. A small issue may occur in their workplace. Immediately their minds will get so disturbed, or in a particular relationship. It could be with a partner or anyone. Immediately again the mind will get upset. So whenever you find that in spite of being exposed to spirituality, if you find that your mind is getting affected by the small challenges of life, immediately understand that your approach is being too general. So what should you do? You should get into the specifics. Okay, I have this particular issue. Now, what aspect of this wisdom is going to help me in resolving this issue? Now, when you focus on that, what principle should I practice in order to get a solution for this? The moment you start focusing your energies in a specific way, you will find amazing results. See, in the yogic approach, we are not result oriented, but at the same time, it's not that we neglect results. The moment we talk of goal, it means we have a particular result in mind. All they are saying is, when you are acting, don't get overworked up about achievement of the goal, because then you cannot focus in the present activity. That's all. So even when you do your sadhana, you may do it in a generalized way, with a very superficial understanding. So you will be focusing more on the externalities of the procedure which is given, rather than understanding the spirit of what is being given. I am not saying there will be no benefits. There will be benefits, but the benefits will be limited. Similarly, the other kind of people who get into the specifics but who don't understand the context, they don't see the total picture. Now such people will also not be able to benefit fully, because see, the principle being one, the application is going to vary according to the situation. So such people will become very rigid. Those who get into the specifics without understanding the total picture. So they will not understand the context, nothing. So mechanically they will just try to follow one principle and they will try to apply the principle in just one way everywhere. So invariably they will also not get solutions. They may get a solution in one area, but in other areas they will find it difficult, because they will not know the context of what is being told. So whenever you find that you're becoming very rigid, very orthodox in your views. Orthodox means, here I'm using the word to mean rigid with your with whatever concepts you're having. The same word can be used in a positive sense also, but here we are using it like that. So whenever you find that you get stuck with something, oh, I'm trying my best but still the result is not coming, then just check, in what context was this told? See, supposing the master has told you, now you get up every day and do certain kriyas. Like in the finite to infinite empowerment program, a few kriyas were taught. And it was mentioned to you that that is not the main aim of the course. So you practice whatever you can in terms of kriyas, whatever you remember. Now let's say you remember the kriyas for the neck. Now you start doing that every day. Just for argument's sake, let us say one day you trip somewhere and you get a catch or a sprain in your neck. Now that requires rest. If you give it a couple of days rest, and since you're doing the sadhana, and if you want, you can even do the individual organ meditation on that, the neck is going to get healed. But without understanding the context, even when the sprain is there, if you forcefully try and do the kriyas, now that can actually worsen the situation. Even though it is said you have to do the kriyas every day, these are the areas where you may need to change it a bit. So how will you know? How will you know the context? It is only by understanding the general principle, by getting the total view, the totality view. So the general principles give you a sense of values in life. The specific principles give you what we call as a sense of proportion. Now, as a sadhak, you need to combine these two. This is not only applicable with respect to spirituality. You can apply this in any field, in your work field, in your business, in your relationships, in the area of your health, in the area of your creativity, whatever it is that you're doing, you can apply these two principles. The general wisdom, to gain the totality view and the specific points, the specific wisdom which will help you to go into the depth and master that completely, so that you can gain the full benefits. One without the other will cause imbalance. So to that person who was asked this question, why is it that people, in spite of being in some people, in spite of being in spirituality, they are still not reaping the full benefits? You can easily find out. It will be one of these two. I am not taking into consideration those people who misunderstand this wisdom completely. Such people, even though they may be in touch with the scriptures, they are really not in spirituality at all. We are talking of those people who understand the scriptures in the right way, yet if the life is not getting transformed in the real sense of the term, then it will definitely be because either they have been gaining this wisdom in a very generalized way, they would have left out the specifics, or they would have gone into the specifics, but they would have missed the context. They would not have a total view of this wisdom. So if you're also finding that the results are not satisfactory, if you're doing your sadhana every day and you feel that, no, I think I can definitely get better results, then see which one are you missing. Either the general wisdom, or is it the specific points. So if you focus on that and do, you will start getting wonderful results. See, these are all ways by which you can enhance the quality of whatever you're doing. You can enhance the impact of what you're doing. Whenever you do something, it should create a powerful impact on you and on others. Others comes later, but first there should be a powerful impact within yourself. So it is not enough if you're just mechanically attending these Sunday discourses. Having now started attending, you're being consistent. Now just check these two things when you're doing your sadhana. Ensure that there is a right balance. The yogic approach has solutions for all the problems. Now, if you're not getting a solution, it means there is something wrong with your approach, something wrong with your application. A master's role is this only. He keeps on watching the student and he tries to maximize the transformation in a student's life. Whenever the student slips into overgeneralization, he brings him back to specific principles. Whenever he finds that a student goes too much into the specifics, to that extent where he becomes very rigid with those principles, then the master may push the student away from that principle. He may say something opposite also, just to get him out of that attachment and get that student onto the center. He'll give a broader total vision. This was said in this context. In this context, you need to practice something else. That part is given. And with the guidance of the master, when the student goes on learning to balance these two principles, after a while the balance will become automatic. A yogi is one who has the capacity to gain this wisdom in a generalized way, and he has a totality vision of his entire life, and he also has the capacity to go into specifics wherever it is required and master that area completely. So when a student goes to a master with a problem, now the master has the total vision, and specifically wherever it's required, he can easily acquire that information and come to a proper conclusion. So the decisions which you're taking is based on the conclusions which you arrive at. Now those conclusions, how do we make sure that those conclusions are made more perfect? It is by applying this principle, the balance between the total picture and the specific picture, the context. So what did we see in the last session? The 4 purposes of action. The first one is abhivyakti, means manifestation of your individual talents, of your individual skills. That is the first purpose. The second purpose is sadh. Sadh means achievement. So you should fix goals in life and go about achieving them. That is when you grow, your personality grows. Your capacity will go on improving. And then the third purpose is yoga dhanam. Yoga dhanam means what is it that you can contribute to the world, because we go on receiving so much. Everything comes to us just like that, So we have to do some seva, we have to contribute something. And you can contribute in your way only. No two people can contribute in the same way. It's not possible. Even in the same field, same activity you give to two people, there will be differences in the way they do that. The procedure and all may be the same, but the differences will be there. There will be an individual flavor. So that is yoga dhanam. And then the fourth is adhyatma unnati, the individual growth. So these 4 principles are so powerful. If you understand these in depth, then all your activities will start getting a direction, and they will start becoming very, very powerful, because you as a person will start becoming extremely powerful. When you don't understand these 4 purposes, your actions will be very mechanical. Here and there you may achieve a few things, that too by chance. You may contribute to the world, but in terms of personal satisfaction, you may not be up to the mark. Then you will be highly stressed, or vice versa. Some people they achieve a lot of things in terms of personal growth, but they don't contribute anything. Then what is the use? They will never burn up their karmas and purify themselves, because seva alone purifies your karmas. So these four principles will help you to live a very full life in the world. The first three principles, the Abhi, Vyakti, Sad and Yoga Dhanam, will help you to lead a complete life. And then the fourth, complete life in the world. And then the fourth principle, Adhyatma Unnati, will also elevate the spiritual element within you. So on one hand, you will grow in the worldly sense. On the other hand, you will also keep growing in the inner journey. You will keep on evolving spiritually. That is a true yogic life. See, we generally think a spiritual life means one should not enjoy, one should not. See, all these kinds of statements are just bits and pieces of these wisdoms, which you may have picked up from some book, or somebody may have said something. Whether that person who said it, whether that person had a full wisdom or not, first of all, we don't know. And even if that person had the full wisdom, what is the context in which it was told? What have you understood? So many factors are there. So the mind just picks up bits and pieces of this wisdom here and there, and then you form a conclusion. This is what spirituality is. So now it is time to break all these preconceived notions, all these limited concepts. This is what true yoga is. A full life in the world and a full life in the inward journey. The combining worldliness and spirituality. That is why in the second chapter, if you remember, he said that yoga karmasu kaushalam, skill in action is yoga. And then he said samatvam yoga uchyate, means evenness of mind, which is the inner growth. That is yoga. See, these are the two aspects of yoga. We need to master both. Now, I told you the entire nature is following all this. Every creature, for example, expresses its nature, whatever its talents are, without any ego. All these were told to you. Still, a human being is considered the best among among this entire creation. Why? Because a human being's potential is tremendous. See, if you take any other creature, they will all be following these four purposes, but in a very mechanical way, with no awareness. They are just pre-programmed. If you take any creature, abhivyakti, it will manifest whatever its qualities are. And then sad, achievement, whatever limited achievements it has no capacity to fix big goals and all that. And then yoga dhanam, by its presence, it contributes towards the ecology of the universe. So that is done. And then adhyatma unnati, again, every creature apart from a human being is born to exhaust one particular karma, and then it moves to the next level of spiritual evolution. That is also an automatic process. So that also happens. So if you see that, number one, with all the other creatures, it happens without awareness, number one. And number two, all these four purposes are no doubt fulfilled, but in a very limited way. When it comes to a human being, you actually have that faculty of awareness. if you go on increasing that, you will start fulfilling these purposes with full awareness. That is what gives you that infinite satisfaction. Number two, the minimum maximum limit in terms of development is infinite. An animal or a bird, it neither devolves nor does it really evolve. It's just mechanically expressing and exhausting one karma. The human being has been given this choice of action. So when he follows these principles with full awareness, he can go on increasing his potential right up to the infinite. But at the same time, if the choices are used, that capacity to choose is used in a wrong way, he or she can go on devolving. That is what has been beautifully depicted in our Puranas. On one hand, you have the demons, the Rakshasas and Asuras. They are all people who have used the choice of action in a negative way. So generally you will find in the Puranas that they cause a lot of destruction to the world. They cause a lot of harm to others. So it's like a double-edged sword. On one hand, you have the capacity to keep on evolving and reaching the infinite. On the other hand, you have the capacity to go on devolving also. So as a human being, a tremendous responsibility is there with you. When you recognize the beauty of the human being, you will also realize the responsibility. See, the more complex a machine is, the more will be the dangers also. The potential will also be tremendous, the dangers also will be there. Like if you take the latest supercomputer or the AI, artificial intelligence, they are saying the artificial intelligence, with that you can achieve this, that so many positives. The growth potential is endless. That is on one hand. At the same time, you can also see that the same artificial intelligence can be used for negative purposes also. Those things are also being mentioned. So it all depends on how you use it. Whereas when the capacity of the machine is lesser, the dangers are less, but the potential to grow also becomes less. So the human being is the most complex organism in this universe. So that is why the dangers are also there, but the potential is also infinite, the potential to grow. So as sadhaks, what you need to focus on is to build your awareness, and if you start putting these 4 principles into practice, now you will go on increasing your growth. That is, you will start fulfilling your true potential in life. You will start tapping your infinite potential. So abhivyaktihi means expressing whatever individual talents and skills which you have. So do some homework. Find out what skills and talents you have. Supposing you are already in your, you've crossed a certain age, you cannot change your job just like that. No problem. In the side you can, in case you're in the wrong field, I'm saying, at least in the side you can start the activities based on your skills. And as that grows, then you can always shift. Age is not a factor. Age is not a blocking factor. It is all your mind only. So what is the obstacle when it comes to abhivyakti? There are so many obstacles. I am just mentioning one or two here and there just to trigger that process within you. So one main obstacle of abhivyakti is the tendency to copy others without developing your creativity, a mechanical comparison with others. There is nothing wrong in learning from others as long as it's done in a conscious way. But the tendency is to not have that confidence about oneself. Rather, you keep on comparing yourself with somebody else. If your friends are doing something, no, you think I should also do it. Especially youngsters should make a note of this. Oh, my friend is doing that. No, am I missing that? What do you want to do in life? Why don't you decide that? You be a master of yourself and your life, no? Similarly, when it comes to achievement, sadh, what is the blocking factor? As I told you, there are so many impediments, but one major impediment is tamas. Just daydreaming, being lazy, thinking high but not acting at all. So you need to focus on that and bring that alertness. Similarly, when it comes to yoga dhanam, contribution, what is the major block? Selfishness. Whenever you do something, the first thing that will come is what is there in it for me. Whereas a yogi doesn't think that way. He always sees what is good for everyone. He is also included in that. See, yoga dhanam doesn't mean you don't take into consideration your interests. It's not that. The general tendency of the mind is to achieve things at the cost of others. That is a big block when it comes to yoga dhanam. So contribution means you also live a full life, and in that process you also help others. Instead of using the word help, we'll use the word serve others. Even help is right only, but there is always a chance of developing an ego, thinking, I'm superior, I have to help that person. Instead, we'll say serving others. So a yogi always functions with that principle. Anything which he does that benefits everyone concerned. The same activity can be done in a selfish way or as yoga dhanam. It is up to you only. So that is with regard to yoga dhanam. Then when it comes to adhyatma unnati, the inner growth, what is a major obstacle? The lack of focus. See, many people who progress in the spiritual path, see, the problem is that the final destination is infinite. But during the path, there are going to be so many fringe benefits, we can say, incidental benefits which will come to you. Invariably, many sadhaks get tempted and they get stuck there. So yogi is one who enjoys whatever benefits come to him or her, but never loses the focus, keeps on going because the goal is the infinite, not all these. So when you lack that focus, then the adhyatma unnati will stop. Many people, when they awaken a few powers from within them, they achieve a few things in life, immediately they stop doing their sadhana. They become irregular. So you should not fall a prey to that. Remember, our aim is the infinite. That is the ultimate goal. And when you get the infinite, all the finite is also included in the infinite. It's not that this has to be neglected. So you need to absorb these four powerful principles into your life if you genuinely want to grow, if you genuinely want to transform your life. So the karma indriyas have been given to you to achieve these four purposes. So find out for yourself. Am I satisfied with my abhivyakti aspect? Am I really satisfied with the sadh aspect, achievement? Am I satisfied with yoga dhanam, or do I feel I can contribute more? Am I satisfied with the adhyatma unnati? You cannot be satisfied. If you're true to yourself, you will not be satisfied, because if you say I am satisfied, either you have become a sthita prajna or you're a highly tamasic person. Even a tamasic person will be satisfied. But that satisfaction or contentment is tamasic contentment. Just sleep, inner sleep, we can say. So if you're a true sadhak, you will not be happy with whatever growth which you have achieved. When I'm saying happy, you will not rest content with that. You will always feel, yes, there is more to do, more to go in this. So that is the motivation, that is the factor which will help you be consistent in your sadhana. Otherwise, at some point you will drop your sadhana, and again all sorts of issues will come. Then again you'll come back to the sadhana. For a while you'll do it. Then you will get certain things will get resolved. You will get into tamas for a while, and then some problems will come. Again you will get into sadhana. It's like a cycle. That is that kind of a journey is not the correct way. So you think about this. But one who restrains the senses with the mind, O Arjuna, and undertakes the yoga of action, karma yoga, with the organs of action. So karma indriyas is what we have seen. Karmendriyai karma yogam. Unattached, asaktaha sa vishishyate. He excels. Now with the karmendriyas, he is saying you should do karma yoga. He is not saying you should do karma. So what is the difference between karma and karma yoga? Karma means action. Now here he is differentiating between karma and karma yoga. What is the difference? When you act mechanically, that is called karma in this context. When you act in order to unite with the self, if your actions help you to lead a full life in the world and also helps you to grow spiritually and unite with the infinite, then it becomes karma yoga. See, karma yoga is derived from the Sanskrit root yuj. Yuj means to unite. So whenever the karmas which you perform, that is the actions which you perform, help you to unite with the infinite, then it becomes karma yogam. So the four purposes which were given to you, when you keep mastering them, all your actions will help you to evolve spiritually and ultimately unite with the infinite. then anything which you do will become karma yoga. In order to do karma yoga, you don't need to take up special activities. Some people have that concept. Whatever I am doing now is not karma yoga, so I have to do something totally different. It's not that. You will have to act in your field only. Whatever action which you're doing today, fulfill these 4 purposes through those activities. Then automatically you will start you will start doing karma yoga. Your day-to-day activity, I am talking about your normal, so-called normal day-to-day activities. Actually, we feel that, oh, I am caught up in this samsara, these are all worldly activities. Now karma yoga means service activity. I have to take up I have to go and join some service organization. There is nothing like that. It's not, see, just because you join some so-called service organization doesn't mean now you're doing karma yoga. In many of these kinds of organizations, I have seen a lot of ego play for power and position and all that. And, the weakness for showing off an image. Whether you're alone or whether you're working with a team, all these things do not matter. What is your inner approach? How are you acting? That is, with what attitude are you acting? That is the question. So, when we talk of karma, action, now there are 3 effects which can arise out of action. One is, the action can generate a lot of negative energy. There are certain, types of actions, or when you do it in a wrong way, now that can go on increasing the negative energy. It can create a lot of disturbance within you and around you, in others also. That is the first type. The second type is activities which are very mechanical. See, mechanical actions may not create an immediate disturbance, but there is a potential for future disturbance. That is the second type of activities. So the first type is disturbing activities, or activities which create negative energy, and the second one is mechanical activities. Those that do not cause immediate disturbance, but in the long run they have a potential to cause a lot of negative energy. Because when you keep on neglecting some area, now at some point the hidden dirt will start manifesting. Now the third type of activity is any activity which increases the positive energy. See, again, remember, when we are talking about karma or actions, you have 5 karma indriyas. I am just reminding you of that. So when we say activities, mean activities which you do with your hands, activities which you do with your legs, activities which you do with your mouth, speaking, eating, whatever it is. Then the organ of procreation, organ of evacuation. I have already covered that in detail in the previous verse, how these 5 represent 5 different types of activities which you can perform. In case you have forgotten that, go back to the previous verse and listen to that portion. It will help you. Now, we are talking about how to convert all those into karma yoga. So, when you take karma, it can create immediate negative energy, or mechanical actions which are potential negative energy. So both these types actually create negative energy only. Then the third type of karma is actions which can generate a lot of positive energy within you and which can create a positive impact outside also. These are, from a broad perspective, these are the three types of karma. Now, karma yogam means cutting off the first two types of activities, that is, actions which can create negative energy, and go on performing actions in such a way that they increase the positive energy within you. The advanced stage of karma yoga is that you are not happy with mere positive energy. You convert it into divine energy. When your actions become divine, then that is advanced karma yoga. When, as we go into the more and more depth in this chapter, you will be amazed to see the potential of karma yoga. So when your actions are negative, when they are creating negative energy, now you are going to devolve. When your actions create positive energy, you're going to progress in the world, and it is very conducive for spiritual growth. When your actions become divine, then you are making a beeline towards the ultimate purpose of self-realization. So you have to now look into what are the effects of your actions. Take it up as a homework. Aram se just sit for a while and analyze. Okay, what are all the activities I'm doing from morning? Every day there are certain routine activities will be there. Sometimes when you go to office you'll be doing certain actions. At home, certain action. Now, am I doing my actions in a mechanical way? Many things you will be doing them in a mechanical way. So many people, when their minds are preoccupied with something which has happened in office, let us say, they come back home, the children are telling them something, they'll just mechanically nod, yeah, correct, yeah. Now that action will not help, will neither help you nor will it help to enrich the relationship. So, what is the percentage? How much, generally, when I'm saying percentage, it's not that you have to fix the exact percentage. Don't get worked up about that now. It is just for you to get better clarity. So, the am I acting in a mechanical way, or how much of percentage is there? Then, what are the activities which actually disturb me and disturb others? Find out. You will be surprised. There are many activities which you are doing which actually disturb you and which also disturb the others around you. They create a lot of negative energy. But because you are not aware, you keep on doing that. So such activities, these two kinds of activities will give negative results in your life. It will cause a lot of stress and strain. Very interesting, a sadhak who was doing this, the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana daily, after about 6 months of doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana every single day, apart from the Sunday alone, because Sunday he is attending the session, what he told me was interesting. It took about 6 months. After 6 months, one day when he was sitting and doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, suddenly like a flash, like a picture, it was shown to him. see how he is acting with his family members. So he was putting too many rules, and he was being very, very rough. Rough means he was behaving in a very rude way to his own dear wife and his kids, even to his parents. See, if you have a negative quality, it will manifest everywhere. Whenever his wife wanted to discuss something with him, how sharp he was, he used to dismiss her viewpoint. When the children wanted to spend time with him, he used to get very impatient and irritated. Impatience when it came to others' defects. Instead of being a source of inspiration and doing seva, he was highly impatient and rude. But the interesting part is, he was not aware of it at all. He was thinking he is perfect and everybody else around him are useless. This was his view. It took about 6 months of daily sadhana. Suddenly this was shown to him like a picture. Just the previous day, his wife had some issue and she had come to him to discuss. And instead of being of some help to her, he criticized her for her faulty action and faulty attitude. And at that time he was not aware, but when this came out in the meditation, he could see how his action of speaking in a rude way was reducing the self-confidence of his wife. Everything came in front. Her expression, not only her external expression, but he was able to feel what her inner mind was going through. That is what is interesting. When your clairvoyant powers start increasing, you will be able to feel what the other person is feeling. You will be able to clearly see what the other person is thinking. It will become very clear to you. So he was able to clearly see that. And at the same time, he was able to see how rude he was from his thought level. And he released all that. It didn't get released in one session for him. He said he had to do for a few weeks. And at one point he said, sir, I became very frightened because I began to realize that throughout my life I've been like this. Right from school days, I used to be very rude to my teachers. He was a very intelligent person, but highly impatient and rude. I used to be rude to my classmates, and even during college, even in my work, everything started coming out. But then he remembered the advice which is already given, that it is all the cleaning up happening. So that was a saving factor for him. In spite of all these karmas coming out, he just kept on at the sadhana. He connected to the Guru Shakti and kept doing the deep breathing, and he kept on releasing them. And after a few weeks, he said an amazing thing happened. For the first time, his wife came to him and told him, "What has happened to you?" He said, what has happened? "No, I'm seeing a very, very positive change in you. Is everything okay?" Because she had got so used to his rude behavior. It's not only about the behavior, but right from the thought level. When actually a positive change happened, she couldn't believe it. She was checking with him whether everything is fine. He said, "Yes, now only I'm genuinely getting fine." This is a simple example I'm giving it from a real life incident I'm just sharing with you. to tell you how powerful the sadhana is, how it can really change the quality of your thoughts, emotions, and ultimately your actions. So the homework which I am asking you to do of seeing whether my actions are mechanical, whether my actions are creating negative energy, positive energy, you will start off in a superficial way initially, but when you do your sadhana, as you progress in your sadhana, that same process will intensify. Those actions which you are performing today, whether it's your speech or other kinds of activities which are creating negative energy, will all start coming out. And you will have to release them. Then only you're truly getting into the spirit of karma yoga. Without this process, just to talk about karma yoga, see, as I told you, most people think karma yoga means you have to do some certain type of activities. No, because it's the same mind which you will be carrying there. Supposing you go and join some service organization. Let's say you're highly selfish and egoistic. Such a person goes and joins the service organization. There also he'll continue to be selfish and egoistic only. He'll create politics there. There'll be a fight for power and position. One small thing he'll do and he'll expect recognition. The inner qualities will be the same. So, where will you practice karma yoga? The karma yoga is to be practiced right now, wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, how to do them in a better way so that it creates a lot of positive energy for yourself and it creates a lot of positive energy to others around you. We'll stop with that. Where you think about this point. And next week I'll give you little more subtler tips about karma yoga. Of course, this whole chapter is going to deal with this in detail, but in this verse, a few things I'll give you, and then we will continue further also. So before we do the Nididhyasana meditation, I'll take up a few questions. This question has been asked by Seemantini Gauriji. What she has asked is, Hari Om Yogishri, thanks a lot for all the guidance and wonderful Sunday session. I have one question. Can I do Yoga Sankirtan sadhana in the morning and the other empowerment sadhanas like Kaya Tattva, Prana Tattva, etc. in the evening? If I alternate empowerment sadhanas with Yoga Sankirtan sadhana on a weekly basis, I feel amiss on the days of empowerment sadhanas. Thank you, Yogishri. See, actually speaking, from an energy point of view, whether you take the Yoga Sankirtan or whether you take these empowerment sadhana materials like Kaya Tattva, Prana Tattva, now infinite happiness you have. Now to add to this, in the next empowerment, the finding rhythm in life, very, very powerful sadhana materials will be given to you. So, from an energy point of view, they are all coming from the infinite energy only. But the accent or the emphasis will be a little different. That is why I had asked you to do the Yoga Sankirtan for 1 week. Then next week you can do the empowerment material. Third week Yoga Sankirtan. Fourth week another empowerment. I think there are sets, no? Kaya Tattva, you have 2 sets. Each set, I think, 5 meditations. Prana Tattva, if I remember, you had been given 6 plus 6, 12 meditations. So alternate weeks you'll be doing. Now this is a general Now, if you do Yoga Sankirtan in the morning and one more in the evening, that will be too much build-up of energy. It's better to avoid it now. When we go to advanced courses, at a very high advanced level, we will definitely intensify for a period of time. I don't know whether that is possible online also, we'll have to see. At that time, I may make you practice a lot of things within a day also. But see, you need to achieve a balance. Too much of energy also, you will not be able to handle it. So whatever I'm giving now is a very safe process. You can easily handle that and you can go. Now you're missing the Yoga Sankirtan means, yes, you see, Yoga Sankirtan has its charm because it's a very powerful sadhana and the music part is also there. So that is why you feel that. If you're feeling like that, what you can do is, you do Yoga Sankirtan for a couple of weeks and then do one empowerment series for a week. In case you want to do one more week of Yoga Sankirtan, there is nothing wrong with that. See, you're doing the sadhana. I have given a general guidelines. Don't change the order of these Yoga Sankirtans and the empowerment materials within that week. But if you want to do, let us say, 2 weeks of Yoga Sankirtan sadhana and then 1 week of Kaya Tattva, that is okay. It's better to combine both so that you don't lose touch with all these empowerment materials. Every material which is being given to you is attacking your your deeper mind in a positive way, through certain doors, we can call it. The entry points are different. That is why when you have an issue, let us say for example you have fallen sick, your body has fallen sick. At that time you can listen to Yoga Sankirtan in the morning, evening you can listen to Kaya Tattva till that recovery happens. That is only for that for that specific purpose. Let us say you have a problem, a chronic problem with a particular organ. Let us say you have diabetes, for example, or any other issue. Now you can listen to Yoga Sankirtan in the morning and evening you can do that individual organ meditation on that particular organ. Whatever the organ is faulty. That will facilitate the healing process. Once the healing happens, you can continue with your regular sadhana. See, what we are aiming at is a slow, gradual build-up of energy and growing step by step. We have to move forward very carefully in this path. I understand and I genuinely appreciate your enthusiasm, but it's better to be grounded and go step by step. And it's always good when you miss the sadhana, when you feel, oh, I want to do more. That feeling is always a good feeling to have, because that will keep you running in this long race. It's a long-term race. We're talking of. Race means you're not competing with anybody else. It's with yourself only. But it's a long-term thing. Okay. So the other question also which I wanted to take up was from Arun Mahindran. He has put it in the YouTube comment section, a very long paragraph. Hari Om Yogishri, thank you so much for the discourse. So he has put down all the points, and then finally the question comes. Thank you so much, Yogishri, for a long time I've had difficulty in writing down the points in the comment section. My issue was not with writing the points in comments, but remembering it properly. Hence today during the discourse I noted down a few key words relating to the important points, and after the discourse I tried to write on my own, and when I got stuck I used these words as aids to remember. I feel I was able to do it really well this time. However, I remember that you had suggested that noting of points after discourse as an alternative to note making during discourse, and hence I am not sure if what I am doing is alright. Please guide me, Yogishri, if this is alright, and I can continue to do the same. Thank you so much, Yogishri. Before I answer this question, this is an important thing not only for Arun but for all the sadhaks. See, when you are asking a question, it is a long paragraph. You put down all your points, everything. Suddenly a question is coming in the end. Now there are chances that of the other person missing it. So from your side, see, you should always try to present things in such a way that it is easy for the other person to understand. Now, you should not present it in such a way that where, no, I have to put a lot of effort to bifurcate the question and then mark it and remember and keep an answer. You know, remember this, anything which you do in life, you should work on the presentation to make it easy for others. That is a principle we have used for creating Yoga Sankirtan also. Otherwise, the Yoga Sankirtan in its purest form, nobody can take that energy. So much of effort is being put in. Even the next Yoga Sankirtan which we are working on, we are going into so much of specific subtleties and all. Why? So that it becomes very user-friendly for you. See, generally when we are caught up with our work and our issues, we tend to forget this. So this is a general thing which I am telling for everyone also. If you want to, you see, when you are presenting your points, put them separately. Question can be put as a separate comment, no? So that it becomes easy for the, it becomes easily accessible. So it is not only with respect to questions, anything else you do in life, always try to make it more user-friendly. You see, why are some of the businesses, online businesses and all, they're very, very successful? Because they create products which are very much user-friendly. Whether they are apps or anything, softwares. When a system is not user-friendly, then that cannot grow. Remember this. So coming to the question about writing notes, see, there is nothing wrong if you want to do note making during the lectures. That is a usual thing which is done. In one context I had said that the subtler thing, the higher practice of this is fully attending the discourse and then trying to recollect. Those things have their benefits of increasing the memory power, the Medha Shakti, and so many. I had explained that earlier. That doesn't mean now if you take notes it's wrong and all that. This has, of course, a lot of benefits. So what you can see, whatever you're doing is right. If at all you want to take down notes, just write a few points, that's all. And then later on you can expand on those points and present them. The reason why it was suggested, that is to write the notes later, was because otherwise there is a chance that you may miss the energy. See, you're so busy writing. There are some people who write word to word. Now, it is one part of the mind is not available to receive the energy. So their focus is more on writing. So they'll miss a lot of things and they'll miss the healing energy also. So for that, that was said. So what you do is you focus on the discourse, you absorb as much as possible. Wherever you want to note down some points, nothing wrong. You're putting it as if, sir, I've written some notes. Is it right? Am I doing the right thing? Please correct me if I am wrong. It's not a criminal activity or something to write notes. No? And I'm saying if you want to jot down some points, do so. That will give you more clarity only. Ensure that doesn't prevent you from absorbing the energy. So that is a further higher practice which was suggested. So whenever you want to practice that, you do that. If you're finding that very difficult, then you do this for a while. You balance it out. The spirit behind these practices is very important. Okay, so now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am getting into a state of deep relaxation. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this physical body. I am not this mind. I am not this intellect. I am that supreme infinite self. From this moment onwards, I choose to use my organs of action to do karma yoga. I choose to express my talents and skills, abhivyakti. I choose to fix goals and achieve them. Sadh. I choose to do seva and contribute to the world, yoga danam. I choose to maintain my focus on my ultimate goal of reaching the infinite, Adhyatma Unnati. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating.
I offer my gratitude to God Supreme, I offer my gratitude to my Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. We had yet another powerful session. Why? Because these principles are very powerful. So I'm going at a pace where you have enough time to reflect, absorb, and then come back. That is so important. All these principles which are being given to you, remember they are also preparations for the empowerments which we'll be having. Especially this year we are going to have the Finding Rhythm in Life, which is going to change your life completely. Very, very powerful.
22 days, So I wonder whether 22 days is less. Someone was asking me. But 22 days is not an ordinary thing to get into an intense sadhana and receive so many empowerments. See, it's not going to be one empowerment course. Within that, every day is going to be some empowerment or other. In each of the aspects of life, you're going to receive several empowerments. So the impact which it will create will be tremendous. So if you start practicing these principles from now itself, you will be well prepared to receive that blast of energy, so that you can receive as much as possible. That is the idea, for your benefit only. Okay. So we'll go into more depth in the coming sessions. Thank you very much. Hari Om.